couple weeks ago, I did a video about how Tennessee football has a quarterback problem, as they have a lot of talented guys at the quarterback position. They had Brian Maurer, Harrison Bailey, Virginia Tech transfer Hendon Hooker, and star freshman Caden Salter. Well, the rich get a little bit richer, as today they add former Michigan quarterback Joe Milton to the mix, as he will plan on signing with the Volunteers, and it's not 100% official yet, but that's where he will be headed this upcoming fall. Milton started a few games last and had some moments of brilliance against Minnesota, but there was a lot of dysfunction that went on in Ann Arbor last fall. Michigan football played pretty terribly, and he was very inconsistent, so they booted him out, and he was headed into the transfer portal. Many expected that he would be going back home to Florida, since that's where he became a big-time recruit in high school, but I predicted he would go to USF, UCF, or Florida Atlantic, and none of those three will come true, as he'll get a chance to play in the SEC Conference, as he will join the Tennessee Volunteers and Josh Heupel. I mean, technically, I was a little bit right, as Heupel did go to UCF, and their new athletic director was from UCF as well. But yeah, today we're going to talk about Joe Milton. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks. Don't know why, but I just really like him. I think he's going to be a lot of fun in this Tennessee offense, and I actually do think he has a chance to start this upcoming fall. But first, if you love college football, be sure to hit that subscribe button, as I'll be uploading a ton of content these next few months, and you definitely won't want to miss out. Give the video a like if you want to support what I'm doing here on YouTube. Let me know your thoughts, and let me know a suggestion down in the comment section. And go ahead and turn on post notifications so you never miss when I upload. Now let's go ahead and get started. If you go back a little bit, one of my most popular videos on this channel I ever made was a Joe Milton hype video back in September, as some people were calling him the next Cam Newton because of his size, athletic ability, and just his tendencies as a quarterback. That video blew up, but unfortunately his career did not blow up the exact same way. He started their opener against Minnesota and actually looked pretty good, but Minnesota was fool's gold and they were actually horrible last year. And then after that, he lost to both Michigan State and Indiana, and just things went out of control, and he just did not play very well. And he got benched in favor of Cade McNamara, who has basically taken over the starting job, as rumors have had it that he will likely be the starter this upcoming fall over Texas Tech transfer Alan Bowman and true fresh J.J. McCarthy. So yeah, Milton became a big-time recruit coming out of the state of Florida, and he was a guy who was very worried about his pro future, so he decided to commit to Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines. He was a backup and battled it out with Dylan McCaffrey for a little while, and they're expected to have a back-and-forth quarterback battle going into last year, but Dylan McCaffrey ended up transferring, and he's now at Northern Colorado, so Joe Milton was handed that starting job. But as we said, he ended up struggling a little bit while he was at Michigan and entered the transfer portal, and I thoroughly expected him to go back close to home, so I expected a school like UCF, USF, Florida Atlantic, or Florida International, or something like that, because he obviously wasn't that good as a Power 5 player, and I didn't think he'd get a chance at another big-time school, especially an SEC school. But he was proved wrong, as Josh Heupel was probably looking for a player who has a high ceiling, and definitely Joe Milton is a guy who has boom or bust potential. He's insanely athletic, very tall, and it seems like if he has the right coach, he could absolutely be a star in college football. And I think this is a great fit for Tennessee, and there's really not a lot of downside to this. Right now, unfortunately, Tennessee fans do not think very highly of Josh Heupel, and a lot of people think that it was a stretch to hire him to begin with. I personally like the hire because Tennessee is in a rebuild mode, and they need a guy who can put up points, and Josh Heupel developed quarterbacks and put up points at UCF, and the defensive recruiting may not be there for a little bit at Tennessee, but at least they're probably going to put up points, look competitive at times, and it's better to score a lot of points than no points during a rebuilding era. And Heupel will have his work cut out for him, as he has 5 quarterbacks who have a chance to start. Brian Maurer ended up starting a couple games as a true freshman, but he's likely the 5th guy on the list. Caden Salter was compared to Deshaun Watson coming out of high school, and people were really high on this kid as he was a 4-star recruit, and he'll have a chance to play immediately according to some. Then you go into the next guy. Harrison Bailey was a prodigy coming out of the state of Georgia, and last year had a chance to start against the Florida Gators and actually scored on his first or second drive, when unfortunately Jeremy Pruitt was too stubborn to actually play him a ton, and I just wish that they would have played him all last year, because I think he's the best player on the team. Then of course you have Joe Milton, who had his few starts and has his high ceiling, and with him coming over in the spring, he'll have all summer and fall to learn the playbook and get comfortable in the offense, so I do think he'll actually have a chance to push for the starting job this upcoming fall. Finally, we have the guy who will likely start, and that's Hendon Hooker. Hooker was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school and chose to commit to Justin Fuente at Virginia Tech. Him and Ryan Willis battled it out for a little bit, but Hooker was the starting guy for the most part the last 2 years in Blacksburg, and he was pretty up and down. In 2019, he looked really good, but in 2020, he definitely took a step back and announced that he would put his name into the transfer portal, where he would settle on Tennessee, and this was before Josh Heupel was hired. Hooker's more of a dual threat guy, and same with Joe Milton, so I really like both of these dudes. But for Josh Heupel, he's had guys like Mackenzie Milton and Dylan Gabriel, who are gunslingers and pro-style quarterbacks who like to sling the rock. So honestly, right now, I think Harrison Bailey probably has the best future in his system, but Caden Salter's also another guy who's kind of more of a dual threat player. So obviously, there are 3 talented dual threat quarterbacks on this roster, and then 2 more pro-style kind of dudes. So right now, I don't know if Josh Heupel will be running the same philosophy that he ran at UCF, and I'm just really excited to see how all 5 of these guys fit. It seems like all 5 legitimately have a chance to start this upcoming fall, and I am super pumped to watch how this quarterback battle plays out, and if we see a few of these guys transfer. I think Tennessee fans would think it's a nightmare if either Salter or Bailey transfers, and I hope that does not happen for their sake. But yeah, Joe Milton's one of my favorite players in college football. I just really like the kid. I liked his hype that he had going into last year, and I really want to see him succeed. So let's wish him the best of luck at Tennessee, and I'm really excited to see how this all plays out. For you guys who are more on the technical side, Joe Milton is 6'5", and he appeared in 14 games for the Michigan Wolverines over 3 seasons, as he went from the scout team quarterback to 3rd on the depth chart to starter in 2020. In 5 starts with Michigan, Milton completed 57% of his passes for 1,077 yards and 4 touchdowns. He did also throw 4 interceptions though, and would obviously regress in his final 3 starts, which led to a change in quarterback against Penn State, which would turn out to be Michigan's last regular season game. Because Milton is set to graduate this spring from Michigan, he'll automatically be eligible to play for Tennessee this fall, as he is listed in the student directory, but it's not 100% official yet. Plus, the NCAA is expected to approve the one-time transfer legislation, so you'd be able to play immediately anyways. Let me know your thoughts though. If you're a Tennessee fan, let me know who you think starts at quarterback for you guys this upcoming fall. I want to end today's video with a quote from Urban Meyer himself, the legendary Ohio State coach. Quote, "I would always just kind of walk over and start looking at their personnel, and I was like, who is that cat? That is a Cam Newton lookalike, and he's got a hose and he can run." The guy he was talking about was Joe Milton, as he did compare him to Cam Newton, and supposedly this guy could throw a ball 80 yards at one point. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Joe Milton has one of the highest ceilings in college football, and let's see how he does. Let me know how you think Joe Milton fits into the equation, and let me know how you think Tennessee does overall in year 1 under Josh Heupel. Thank you guys for tuning in today, and if you want to support what I'm doing here on YouTube, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and check out all my other videos, including my video I did about Tennessee's quarterback room a couple weeks ago. I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.